everybody, it's Miss Jen, and today I thought I'd take you on a little tour of my houseplants. Everyone's talking about spring and growing things outside, but one of my favorite things about my house is that I keep things growing inside all winter long. Now some of these plants are getting ready to go outside just as soon as I know that there's going to be no more freezing. So I'll show you some of my favorite plants and some of the ones I need a little bit of help with. This little guy is called a trailing jade. Now, what I need to do with him is I need to pick him up, give him some sort of lift, maybe put him in like one of those hanging things or something like that, because he really just wants to hang down. And until then, he's just kind of spreading out all over my bathroom. This is one of my favorite plants when it blooms. It's called a hibiscus. And right now it doesn't look like too much, but once it starts blooming, it's going to have beautiful orange flowers. And if you take a little look at the tips right here, it's getting ready to have some flowers again. I recently got into exploring some succulents, so I have a couple of different ones, and I'm still really not so sure of how to take care of them, but these ones are still living, so I must be doing an okay job. I know that they all have different names. I'm not quite sure what their names are. I probably knew at one point, but I've lost the tags. So this one's kind of like a cactus because he's pretty prickly. When I bought this guy, it was actually making a flower. And if you kind of look in the middle, you can see that I think another flower will be coming soon. This is another kind of spiky guy. I'm worried about this one because the tips of his leaves are a little bit brown. I'm not sure if that's something to be worried about. This little guy is one of my favorites because I actually rescued it from a TJ Maxx. That is not a gardening store. There was no light and no water, and I rescued it and I took it home. And as you can see, it's grown a lot because these are all right here. These are new little leaves. And this is an aloe plant. And at first I didn't quite know how to care for it, and I gave it too much water and it got soggy. Now it's growing pretty well, and these two leaves right here are actually new since I've gotten it. Now this is a plant I could definitely need some help with. It's an ice orchid, and I got it for a present recently. And I know that you're just supposed to put an ice cube or two in it once a week, and it's supposed to do fine, and I've done that, and it's just not doing so well. As you can see, this one has no flowers left on it. This one at least looks like it's still growing pretty steady. So if anyone knows how to take care of an ice orchid, I could really use some help. So now we're getting into some of my favorite plants. This plant is a geranium that was given to me and Alex when we moved into our house. And it used to be really big and full, and then it got stuck outside during a frost and it died, and it came everything back down, and there was nothing left with it. So I cut it down to the bottom, and as you can see, it's grown back up. So here's a lot of new growth. Here's a flower bud that's happening soon, and I actually just took some flowers off of it that had just died, but this one is doing really, really well. And this is one of my plants that'll go outside once the weather gets warmer. I have two more geraniums that I potted myself because I wanted flowers outside. And these were another set of flowers that were really big and beautiful, and then they got stuck outside during a frost, and I had to cut them back down to nothing. And I've managed to grow them back up so that they make very pretty purpley pink flowers. And these are another set of flowers that'll go outside. Probably after this year, I'll cut them all back down and see if I can get them to fill out so they'll be a little bit more circular. I saved my favorite plant for last. Now I know you're not supposed to have favorites of anything, but this plant is pretty special. This is a spider plant that I've had since I was 11 years old. Now I don't want to tell you how old I am, but I'm going to tell you that I've had this plant for 22 years. When I got this plant, there was only one of these little spider buds in it. Now there's 4 because it's spread. This is some other type of plant that I don't know how it got in here, but every year it grows and it just grows some leaves. And what's really special about the spider plant right now is it's recently made 2 spider babies. So I'm letting them get nice and big, and then I'm going to set them in some pots, and then I'll have 2 more baby spider plants, one of which is going to come back to school with us. Thanks for checking out my plant video. If you have any tips about how I can take care of any of these plants, I would love to hear them. What was your favorite plant? Was it the spider plant? How about the ones with the flowers? Maybe you like succulents. All I know is I can't wait to get some more plants.